So, bonjour tout le monde. So we're going to be continuing on with a short French lesson here with the similar content that we've done in Russian and Spanish so far. So I'm going to read a short text here. These are some like 3 short little dialogues that can help you get started talking to somebody on Skype and kind of sharing your ID, getting started with the conversation, and then maybe ending it if there's some communication problems. So I'll read this in English first, and then I'll read the French part. So, hi, I see that you're from France, and I'm learning French. Could you help me? Yes, I'm available now for a few minutes. Would you like to talk on Skype? Sure, I will turn on Skype. What is your Skype ID? It's... Can you send me a contact request message? Yeah, what is yours? Mine is... I'll send it to you now. Thank you. I just received it. I'll call you now. Okay. So, bonjour. Je vois que tu es français et je suis en train d'apprendre le français. Est-ce que tu pourrais m'aider? Oui, je suis disponible maintenant pour quelques minutes. Est-ce que tu veux parler par Skype? D'accord, je vais ouvrir Skype. Quel est ton identifiant? C'est... Est-ce que tu peux m'ajouter à tes contacts? Quel est le tien? Le mien, c'est... je t'ajoute tout de suite. Merci, je viens de recevoir ton message. Je t'appelle maintenant. Okay. So in here, there are some things that we could use for the conditional form, like the pourrais. This is the conditional form for like pouvoir. And make sure in French that you're always using the subject pronouns. Those are always necessary in French. Also here, if the person you are talking to is a woman, you would use française with an E at the end. If it's français, this is the masculine form to say, like, I see that you're French and I'm learning French. So French, similar to English, has like an ing type of construction, like I am in the process of doing something. So they use the expression en train de, and then they add the infinitive form here, apprendre. So je suis, like I am in the process of learning French. So you would be using basically I'm learning French, this en train de. Disponible is a way to say available. Maintenant is the word for now, and for a couple of minutes. Quelques is some or a couple of. Very frequently when we ask questions in French, we use the form est-ce, and we just put this at the beginning of the question, and then we put the rest of it like in a subject-verb construction. Est-ce que tu pourrais m'aider? Could you help me? This pronoun me attaches with an apostrophe to the infinitive at the front of it. If you are familiar with Spanish, Spanish would attach this at the end of the infinitive, but French puts it at the beginning. And if there's a vowel sound here, the E becomes an apostrophe. Okay. Je vais ouvrir, this is like a near future form. So we use the verb aller, and we conjugate this for like I'm going to. It's similar to English. I'm going to do something. Je vais ouvrir Skype. I'm going to do something. Again, a question with est-ce que tu peux m'ajouter à tes contacts? So maybe this first form is polite. Est-ce que tu pourrais? Like, could you help me? And maybe can you? So could, like could you is pourrais, and can you, est-ce que tu peux? And similar with m'aider, we have m'ajouter, so to add me à tes contacts. So can you add me to your contacts? So maybe another way to say, like, can you send me a contact request would be simply, can you add me to your contacts, to your list of contacts? Okay. And we would be talking about your identifying Skype ID. It's your ID. So quel est le tien? So which is yours? Le mien. So we have tien is yours and le mien is mine for that. Okay. And this again for adding somebody. Je t'ajoute. I will add you immediately. Tout de suite. I'll add you now. I'll add you right away. And je viens de is another construction that you can use in French to say like I just, and in the past tense, like I just did something. I just received your message. So with the en train de, you notice you just put the infinitive and je viens de, and with the infinitive, you actually don't have to conjugate these verbs to create the present continuous or present progressive or the like just near past of like something just happened. So this is if you can conjugate the verb venir, to come, you can actually create a recent past expression. You don't have to really conjugate this. I mean, you have to conjugate the verb venir, but you don't have to conjugate these other verbs. So that's one way to kind of cheat in the language. And it's 100% correct. It's not exactly like a hack or something. It's just, it is used in the language for that. So between je vais, I'm going to do something, I just did something, and I'm in the process of doing something, you can like conjugate être, venir, and aller, and you can talk about what you're doing in the right now, what you're going to do in the near future, and what you just did in the recent past. And we have je t'appelle maintenant. So we can also use the present simple and with a time expression like maintenant. And this could be like, I'm going to call you right now, or I'm calling you now. So that present tense in French is a little bit more flexible than it is in English in terms of like being applied to the near future. Okay. So I'm going to read this next conversation here. So once the conversation starts, so hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Where are you from? I'm from Paris, but now I live in Lyon. And you, I live in New York. Are you originally from New York? No, actually, I'm from Chicago. Interesting. How long have you been learning, let's say, French? Just a few weeks. Your pronunciation is very good for a short period. Thanks, I appreciate that. So in French, this would be bonjour, bonjour, enchanté, enchanté. If these are masculine, if these were women talking, it would be an extra E at the end. D'où es-tu? So where are you from? Je viens de Paris, mais j'habite à Lyon. Et toi? J'habite à New York. Est-ce que tu es originaire de New York? Non, en fait, je suis de Chicago. Ah bon? Depuis quand est-ce que tu apprends le français? Seulement depuis quelques semaines. Ah, tu as une très bonne prononciation pour si peu de temps. Merci, c'est gentil. Okay. So if these were women, we would add an E at the end here. Enchanté, enchanté. Notice between English and French, it's actually Lyon. There's no S, but in English, we add the S. This is similar, I think, for Marseille as well. There's an S at the end. Je viens de. We just saw this of je viens de recevoir, like I just received. But if you actually put a place, je viens de, it means I come from. So I come from Paris, but I live in Lyon. So je viens de with a verb means I just received something, I just did something. But if you put it with a place, this means I come from. And the difference of je viens de, I come from, means like where I was born, but j'habite à is where I live. So if you want to specify that you're originally from this place to kind of insist on that, it's using the expression originaire. And if you want to like correct some information, like en fait, je suis de Chicago. And it's a little bit more frequent in French conversation, like you say, ah bon? It's kind of like a reaction to, oh, that's interesting. Oh, really? So, ah bon? That's a frequent expression you could hear in French. And to ask questions of like since or how long, we use depuis. Depuis quand? Depuis combien de temps? So how long would be depuis combien de temps? And depuis quand. Another expression could be ça fait combien de temps que. Ça fait combien de temps que tu apprends le français? So like how long have you been learning French, or since when? So there's a couple of variations that you could use with this kind of how long, since when, with the kind of, although in English it would be present perfect, in French it's just the present simple. Est-ce que tu apprends le français? So yeah, that makes it a little bit simpler. As I mentioned before, like the present tense in French is a little more flexible in terms of present tense, near future, and also recent past, like the present perfect in English. So it really is flexible in that. Seulement depuis quelques semaines. So only since a few weeks ago. So it's only been a few weeks that I've been learning. So, okay, tu as une très bonne prononciation pour si peu de temps. Like for such a short period of time, for such little time, your pronunciation is very good. Okay. And you could probably use something like c'est gentil. That's nice of you. It's kind of you, to give some kind of equivalent of like, I appreciate that. Thanks. So anything else on here? So yeah, we're using the verb être, est, venir, and habiter. And so those are some of the basic things for introducing where you're from. Okay, and we'll move on to the last part here to wrap up the conversation in case there's some problems. So can you still hear me? I'm afraid I can't hear you well. Unfortunately, the connection isn't good. I think we will have to end the conversation. Okay, are you available at the same time tomorrow? Yes, I am. I'll send you a text message later today. Okay, bye. Thanks again. Have a good day. Bye. Okay. Est-ce que tu peux encore m'entendre? Désolé, mais je n'entends pas bien. Je ne t'entends pas bien. Malheureusement, la connexion n'est pas bonne. Je crois qu'il va falloir mettre fin à la conversation. D'accord. Est-ce que tu es disponible demain à la même heure? Oui, je t'envoie un texto tout à l'heure. D'accord. Au revoir. Encore merci. Bonne journée. Au revoir. Okay. So we're asking a question again with est-ce que, and we're using pouvoir. Est-ce que tu peux encore m'entendre? So entendre is to hear something. If you know Spanish, entender means to understand, but entendre in French means to hear someone. Désolé, this is the masculine, but if this was a woman speaking, there would be an extra E, désolé, mais je ne t'entends pas bien. Sometimes in spoken French, they drop the ne, and you hear this je t'entends pas bien. And then the je and the te becomes this like sh sound, je t'entends pas bien. So that would be very conversational French of je t'entends pas bien. So this t'entends pas. So in conversational French, the pas ends up kind of representing that this is negative. So it should be ne, like ne t'entends pas. But in very fast spoken French, it should become like sh, je t'entends pas bien. Je becomes che, with je, yeah, je t'entends pas bien. Okay. Malheureusement, this is the unfortunately. If you drop the mal part and you just have heureusement, that would be fortunately. So you could say, fortunately, the connection is good. Heureusement, la connexion est bonne. But if it's negative, malheureusement, la connexion n'est pas bonne. Je crois qu'il va falloir. So this is using the like the verb aller, going to, va falloir, and using falloir is the like an obligation verb. You usually see this in the present simple, il faut, F-A-U-T, il faut, and this is the near future, like we're going to have to do something. So, je crois qu'il va falloir. So I think we're going to have to end this conversation. Je crois qu'il va falloir mettre fin à la conversation. And then, okay is d'accord. one more time a question with est-ce que. Disponible is this available. Demain à la même heure, so tomorrow at the same time. And yes, okay. In English, you have to repeat like the yes, I am, but in French, it's just yes. It's not considered rude. It's just they don't use these auxiliary verbs that like people do in English. So it's just yes or no. So yes, je t'envoie un texto. They call like text messages texto. And tout à l'heure, this is like in the near future. If you have this tout à l'heure is this kind of like see you soon, see you later. Okay, and again a d'accord, like an okay, and au revoir, that's like a goodbye, a formal goodbye. And once again, thank you or thank you again. So encore, merci. And bonne journée is a way to wish somebody a good day, a good afternoon. So like the long form would be something like je te souhaite, je te souhaite. Souhaiter is to wish somebody. So like I wish you a good day. Je te souhaite une bonne journée. And then we just shorten it to bonne journée for that. Okay. And encore is like a still or again, like on this. In this case, it's again. This one, it's like still, encore. Okay, so I think if there's no questions, I think we'll wrap that up for today. So thank you for watching this short French lesson, and I hope you find this useful for helping you start and finish your conversations with language exchange partners. And there'll be another lesson next week, and feel free to contact me. You can find the links in the video section for the notes. So take care, bonne journée, bye, au revoir.